A coup takes place on July 15th, a coup which has every earmark of not being real. We don't know exactly who's leading it. It seems to have no leadership. It seems to have no organization. The time of the coup is rush hour, not the middle of the night when you arrest the people you need to arrest. Mr. Erdogan is there, Johnny on the spot, to call upon his people as soon, practically, as things get going. And the aftermath, of course, is a massive series of arrests so fast that it suggests that there was a list already in hand. Everything about the coup, in fact, suggests that not only was it a failed coup, it was a coup intended to fail because the perpetrator of the coup is Mr. Erdogan himself. And I will stand by that. I cannot absolutely prove it, but everything I have heard since July, every place I go, I hear more things, whether it has to do with what was going on internally at that point, what has happened since, or whether I'm hearing about what British intelligence undercovered in terms of overheard in terms of conversations the day before the coup. And one of the things they heard was, just make sure this gets blamed on the Gulenists. Which brings me to the second feature of this. So human rights have all but disappeared in the Turkey of post-July 15th. I don't have to tell you how many tens and twenties and hundreds of thousands of people are at least out of jobs with no hope even for picking up a broom and sweeping the streets as a job, but under lock and key. I don't have to tell you, you're going to hear more about it, I suspect, in a few moments, about the fact that there simply is no press in opposition to the official party organs, so that there is no ability one way or another for Turks to know what's going on, much less to express their opinions about what is going on. That's part of it. The second feature is, and this is consistent with a different ruler from Putin, this is more consistent with someone like Adolf Hitler in the 1930s as he assumed the chancellorship in 1933 in Germany. He looked for a scapegoat that could help him unify Germans against a reliable enemy. The reliable enemy was the Jews. The reliable enemy for Mr. Erdogan has become Hizmet, Gülen, the Gulenists. They have become the scapegoats for everything.
The parliament, he called me a liar. And he just told me that, everything is okay for me, fine. Perhaps, journalists are not being killed in the streets in Turkey, but they are demonized, they are dehumanized, and whenever they say something critically, they are being framed in a way that that defame them. So they're trying to marginalize them, isolate from the mainstream media. 16 years before that incident, Erdogan went to jail for 3 months for reciting a modified version of a poem. And Erdogan used this exactly same Turkish Penal Code article that landed him in jail to sue me, which shows the tremendous transformation that there is in Turkey in 16 years. How he turned from someone, a victim, to someone who is trying to exploit the same article to jail his dissidents. And and the Turkish system is actually built on that. It just constantly, it's a vicious cycle, constantly produces revisionist victims who then, when they come to power, they start oppressing others again. And of course, we had what Andrew Finkel called as a slow motion coup before the July 15 coup attempt. But since then, the crackdown in Turkey has escalated significantly. And the numbers are mind-boggling. We had more than 125,000 people have been dismissed, purged, or sacked. And these include, doctors, members of the judiciary, the police, even soccer referees, baklava sellers. Just only yesterday they arrested, a shawarma king, right? And perhaps the next would be, the kebab folks. So, in connection with the coup, there are more than 90,000 people have been detained all across Turkey. Half of them were arrested pending trial. And I can only imagine what they're going through, because we have the most educated prison population in the world. Those dingy boats that used to carry Syrian refugees to Greece are now filled with Turkish professors. There's a massive brain drain going on in Turkey. There are more than 7,000 academics have been dismissed from their universities. Nearly 2,000 academics have been arrested, and some of them are really celebrated professors in Turkey. those who can flee go to the Western countries or to countries that do not require visas from Turks. So when you look at the situation, when the numbers, when you look how numbers are big, it lessens the impact. We get used to this. You know, when we confront with painful emotions, it lessens the impact. It just we adapt to them. It's what happened in Syria, right? When there's a fire outside of your house, you're very much interested in that. You just look through the window. But when the fire goes on for weeks and months, you just shut down the blinds and so that it doesn't disturb you. That's what.